Good evening and welcome to the ESL Pro League. We've got a desk full of memers here to dissect some Counter-Strike over the course of the next 4 maps. Of course, this is, well, what are we at now? Week 7, Matchday 18. They are flying by week 7. Still week 6, Alex.
It was on Tuesday, it was week 6, Alex. So.
What day is it today? Who am I? Yeah, so time's definitely not flying by as much as I thought it was, but I'm joined by Janko YNK Paunovic and Chad Birchall, the Aussie on the end. What colour is his shirt? Let us know. Hashtag ESL Pro League. I apparently called that salmon, but now I'm not so sure. That looks like more of a pate.
A pate?
A pate.
I don't know, maybe it's on the label.
Hit us up with a hashtag. Do it. That's the most important debate we're going to be starting here on the desk tonight. Hashtag ESL Pro League.
Can we talk about your haircut?
Oh, yeah, I got my haircut. Oh, it's so short. Oh, I didn't look at it. Oh. It is a lot better than it was, though. Can we all agree?
As much as the guy from the weekend now.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing, because those are dreadlocks, and I should not be having dreadlocks. That's
definitely not.
No bueno for me. Anyway, we've talked about hair, we've talked about shirts. Now let's talk about some CS. Just yesterday, you're right, it was week 6 yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about what we did witness, because we got some special treats and not so special for Polish fans. Of course, Virtus Pro were a team that we wanted to be talking an awful lot about, and if we can actually show you, there it is. We'll talk about there in just a moment, just to address what we did start with. We got to see Penta push NaVi. It was that same agonizing story for the majority German side. Just getting right into the OT, even could have closed it out in regulation, as we said here on the desk just yesterday, and didn't quite manage to replicate that on Overpass. Alongside that, the VP story, and I mean 14-16 Yenko does not, and I sometimes say this a little haphazard, but this does not do the game justice.
Definitely not. I mean, VP having a 12-3 first half and a 14-4 lead in the second half, obviously meaning that Hellraisers managed to win 12 rounds in a row on the CT side of Cobblestone, Alex, against Virtus Pro. And that sentence, I don't think a single part of it makes sense. Pretty much, right? But it's just what happens at times with VP. It seems like they get relaxed a bit too much after having a huge lead. That gives their opponents momentum, and then when it comes to the very end, they just can't seem to find a way to win a round.
12 rounds in a row, Chad. Just a quick sigh from you, I think, is all we need, just to kind of point just how crazy that was.
I think our face palms yesterday said it all, really.
Absolute madness. And alongside that, we got to see Flipside get wrecked by NaVi on our B stream. I think they only got 9 rounds amongst all of them, but that will be shown in the standings. That's the best way to show you. Of course, I'm talking about across the 2 maps, they got 9 rounds. And look at that big fat 0. Flipside are having a mare of a time here in the ESL Pro League. Above them, you can see Penta. And we talked about, you know, that Cobblestone not necessarily doing justice, but neither does that 3 alongside their namers. So they'll be playing the battle of survival now as time goes on, because 13 losses, I'm afraid, is just a little too much to be battling towards the top 6. In fact, we describe it as the 9 loss threshold is usually where you'll be finding yourself. So keep your eyes on that. Look, if you cast your eyes, Janko, there's a couple that are already, you know, T1 teams bordering on the precipice of 9 already.
Yeah, we have G2, who most likely won't make the cut, seeing as how they are already at 12 losses. But it's also interesting to see when you look at the lower end of the table. I think a lot of us would have put Heroic there, fighting for survival as well. But I think they've proven to be, you know, at least above the other 3 teams when it comes to that. They've had some good wins as well, not just in Pro League, but at offline events. And I think they're pretty safe about securing their spot in Pro League for next season.
Now, a team you saw in Bucharest as well, we saw their 7-5 NaVi, Chad. What are we thinking about the French side's chances? Have they looked like they're kind of finding that form that we know they're capable of?
If they do make it in, it'll be in that 6th slot, I think. Right. I think they're one of those teams, like, you know, you can see how G2 and Australis in those rankings there too as well, who'll be around that 6th slot. I think they're in danger. NaVi are on the rise, though. We're seeing better Counter-Strike out of them. They had they played Flipside yesterday, right? That was the match. They had 2 matches, and they absolutely destroyed Flipside. So, you know, Flipside aren't doing well. They're 0-10, but still to win so convincingly on 2 maps versus arguably, you know, a decent team, a top 8 Legends team from Majors, they're doing well.
Arguably. That must be tough for Flipside at the moment. They're definitely not having a great time. But alongside all of that, we do have to start talking about what's coming up today. You may have seen it on the idle screen, but now you get to see it once more, and we can guide you through exactly what you have to look forward to. Now, this first one was described as a blockbuster just yesterday. As we said, our goodbyes, Chad. I'll let you kind of reiterate that and tell us exactly why NaVi versus Virtus Pro could promise to show some sexy CS.
So for Cobble, we saw both teams yesterday on it. They were both close matches. VP actually lost 16-14 in HR, which you covered, and I thought their CT side was obviously fantastic. It was their T side where they had troubles, and then on the flip side of that, NaVi, they went to overtime versus Penta, and I thought their CT side was the issue. You know, Seized, he didn't look comfortable at drop. That B side of the map was a bit shaky. Guardian as well towards A, he was, you know, getting run down by pistols quite a lot, being a bit too aggressive with the AWP. But as a matchup, these two maps are great for both teams. It's going to be fantastic.
And following that one, Janko, you get to just quickly guide us through the flip side Penta matchup. I mean, I can't help but feel that actually for the first time in probably a while, Penta may be coming in as favourites.
I think that's a safe statement, Alex, because looking at recent form more than anything else, right, on paper, you would think that Flipside is a stronger team, they have more structure, but they also had the most recent roster change in Pro League. So they're definitely going to have a lot of obstacles in front of them in that best of two.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that in just a moment. Of course, when we do get to our third map, it's not really a moment. It's quite an extended moment. If it's
couple of hours.
Yeah, just a couple of hours. Just a cheeky couple of hour moment. But we'll be talking now first about this blockbuster that we've already highlighted. And I think we're going to run with your point, Chad. The fact that they both played it yesterday and both had kind of unconvincing results. Virtus Pro, of course, you've highlighted that had the abysmal T side on Cbble, which is something we usually credit them for, right? They usually are the team on the T side. So I guess we just forget all about that, Janko, right? Fresh start today, or do we have to kind of hold that against them?
I certainly hope so, because both teams sucked on Cbble yesterday, and it's one of the two maps that we're going to see, which is, funnily enough, definitely a map that's really strong in the pools of both teams. Arguably, for the new NaVi, maybe not yet, seeing as yesterday was the first time they actually played it in an official game. So if you look at it, we come in, as we say, you know, clear cut, we forget about yesterday. VP should be the favorite here because, you know, it's been one of their best maps, especially on LAN in the past couple of months. We know how strong they can be on that T side, and NaVi doesn't seem to have fully implemented it into their pool just yet.
Now, Chad, we just had NaVi's names up on screen, and actually just yesterday you were talking to me off air and just saying like their firepower is scary. What are you suggesting when you say that?
Obviously, replacing Zeus for Simple is an upgrade in skill, and now, you know, Simple, Guardian, you know, Edward and Flamey, they're rocks, and then C's now he's more of a utility player. I think that's how he's being used, but he also has his moments, and if he's the guy, the third guy picking up the AWP, he can be solid with it from time to time. He's also a good rifler. The problem I think with him in the beginning is playing these new positions. It looks like he's been put in Zeus's role now. He has to do all of the rotating and stuff. You want to leave Simple where he is, leave Guardian where he is, and now he has to, you know, link the two sides together.
Now, just from your perspective, how much of a change is that? Could you perhaps shed some light on that for the guys at home about how much of a shift, like how much that can change your approach and your feel of the game, moving roles? So, like, talk me through it.
When you're the rotator between both sides, or the link player, as I call it, you have to take in all the information. If you're the guy holding platform, you just hold platform until the drop guy's like, they can get our drop.
Sure.
But the guy playing, you know, connector, he has to rotate to the A guy when he needs it. He needs to save his nades to help at any given point. You know, and he also has to worry about holding a spot. And drop on this map is so annoying, you know, the utility that can be used to flush you out and push you away. And then you have to communicate proficiently enough so that your teammates know what's going on. It's probably one of the most difficult roles because you find yourself getting caught with nades out as you're running between places. You find yourself looking at your teammate screens when you're on LAN because you want to get the information, and it's hard just to stay focused.
To be flexible.
Yeah, well, it's very important to stay focused in that role, and I had to do it, and I wasn't very good at it. So
that attention span becomes a problem, or at least I have a low attention.
I mean, you have to take in a lot of information. It's not just about you making the decision; it's about your players, your teammates giving you correct info, right? Maybe an easier example is Dust 2. You have a player who's link between mid and A side, so he has to decide whether he's going to be in CT spawn, guarding the mid to B split, or he's going to be way back helping the A guys, and that's much harder to execute properly in-game than it seems when you just watch the game and see, oh, but they have cat control, why isn't he just on A, right? It's much more difficult to do it in-game.
And something I just kind of wanted to kind of run with of what I was fishing for with my question to Chad was more of a kind of the external perspective, as in you bring a new player into a team and roles shift. Like that seems to affect. I mean, look what happened to Liquid. They've fallen off the face of the planet here with Pimp.
I think that's the problem with teams when they make a roster change, right? Maybe even the roster change that NaVi has made, in a sense that, okay, you think that one player is underperforming and you want to bring a different player instead of him, but if you're not bringing the player to change him to swap with in exact the same roles and positions and setups on the CT side, well, that means more changes than just the roster one. So if that roster change causes, you know, other players to switch positions, then maybe they're not as comfortable in their new positions, which causes them to underperform. Then you change, because you got rid of one player who was underperforming, now you have 3 players underperforming, maybe not as much, but when you accumulate everything, you get the same level of play across the team, right? On this particular example, to maybe try and make it a bit more clear for the viewers, if you swap Zeus for Simple, obviously has more skill, but you force Seized in an uncomfortable spot, so maybe he starts underperforming. You swap Guardian to a different side, so Simple and Guardian can double up. Maybe he's not as effective on a certain map, and then you did more harm than you did good. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen with NaVi, or even it looks like at this point, but it's a possibility. That's why we need time to see how it will work out for them.
A butterfly effect within the roster, just one person does join. But I mean, there's examples. There's examples within the CS scene. It's rife with them, actually. I mean, you know, when we lost Kyo for NV, when we just saw SK, you know, they have a stand-in because Fur wasn't available. We saw them get 16-0'd at one point. Like, the power of one player is insane.
And Fur is the rotator guy, as Chad was explaining the role, so you can see how that one player can be important for the team.
If you look at, just as a different example, G2 are a team who changed in-game leader and got a new player, which meant they changed the whole way they approached the game because there was somebody else, you know, giving the shots and doing the setup. So when you do that and you change the in-game leader, it does matter who you replace the person with, but the way you approach the game is going to change. And if that changes, then you know you don't have this where you know you're trying to fill the gaps. You're all building it up together. You're basically starting fresh.
That must be so crazy. And obviously that's something that people don't necessarily acknowledge when they're watching. You don't really realize why. Like, why does this team suddenly look different? It's of course the voice behind the game.
I think it's good, you know, so the NaVi example that we were giving, I think it's, in the beginning, I was critical of the fact that they weren't just throwing Simple into that AWP role because he's so good at it, you know, the secondary AWP, he's great at the combat AWPing type thing and getting stuck in, and he can really open up sites and rounds. But for him to learn Zeus's role, if they ever go, all right, guys, this 2-op setup is not working, let's dial it back and let's go back to Simple, you go to Zeus's role, Seized. It's good because it keeps it fresh, right? You need to have a lot of depth when you play Counter-Strike, and if you can go change between that and Simple AWPing, and you know, even if they go to another one where it's just, okay, we're just going to go pure Guardian AWPing and go 4 rifles and just mix it around like that, you know, you need a lot of depth in Counter-Strike, and if you can have that at your disposal at any given time, it's fantastic. So
my question to you is Simple capable of that? Is he as a player, as a personality, capable of taking Zeus's old role? As in, was that something he was competent at?
I'm not really sure, but I don't think he should be the one having that role. I don't think he should be, because Zeus, most of the times, he was the one sacrificing himself for the better of the team. He was the guy running out first in, you know, some set execute so that he could create space for the other in a sense of a space creating entry fragger, right? He was dropping rifles to other players and he would play with pistol. You don't want that from Simple. You want to have other players enable Simple to do what he's comfortable with.
And we want to see what Simple can do now. I mean, you've said it perfectly, Chad. I love that entry, just saying, we've seen Cbble yesterday from both of these. It was pretty poor. One got a win, one didn't. And I want your predictions very quickly. Give me a team name for map 1.
I really like what I've seen from NaVi the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to stick with them.
And how about you?
I'm going with VP because I feel they step up their game against better opposition and they really enjoy playing NaVi.
A well-justified answer from both. Let's have a look what the casters have to say, though, as we do dive into Cobblestone.
What do we have to say?
I don't know if we have to say much, to be honest. I think this game should speak for itself between Virtus Pro and NaVi. It should be very straightforward, I feel like. It's two heavy hitters. It's a team that struggles online. It's a team who's been changing up roles, to be completely honest.
Well, we saw Virtus Pro yesterday, of course, against Hellraisers. A bit of an interesting event. They actually got 12 rounds on the CT half and couldn't get going at all on the T half. I feel like they'll address those issues. It was a T side. We talked about them coming back from Milan. It's the first game back, and maybe they weren't quite ready for it.
I've noticed something that's going to be a bit of a problem in our setup, but I don't know if the producers can change it. I don't have a preview monitor, but I can look way over there. It's just going to be a lot harder, so they'll see what they can do. But Cobblestone to start it off, I think good middle ground for these two teams. Obviously, Cobblestone yesterday was a complete catastrophe for Virtus Pro.
Sure.
On the CT side.
Fair, NaVi have been slightly struggling as well. They ended up against Penta the other day and finishing overtime on Cobble. They did this clinch to win, but still.
Well, remember, NaVi was the team that started off by getting like 5 rounds tops on CT side. That was their customary.
That was their signature on the map, right? Even if they only got 5 rounds, they could always bounce back on the T half. They were always very good at that. But we are going to be getting into the pistol, I believe. It will be 5 sets of armor for NaVi starting on the CT side here. And looking at the VP buy, different to their approach yesterday, in fact. They actually got 5 sets of armor. Yesterday they had the 2 smokes towards connector and balcony. It's a fast mid take this time, going in towards danger, and that's the bomb's going to be as well. But here we go, Guardian. You can hear the footsteps. He's waiting for them.
I'm going to try and push up this Neo, though. Yep, A split. Coming in from drop. He's going to hold this perimeter and try and push them back through inside of the site. With 2 players down already, though, this is going to be such a tough task for the CTs on the edge of the perimeter. And back over to B, they like to go where Flamey waits. He'll spot up one on top of the site. He's got the silencer off the weapon. That's what I do. That's what I always say. This reality, he's going to get taken, or rather takes Flamey down, and then Pasha find Guardian. It's Edward, the last alive. Very straightforward from Virtus Pro. So starting off tremendously again. We'll see if that trend can continue throughout the course of the half. Remember yesterday, if you can say something positive about their game, it was a complete failure in the end. They did have an excellent T-side then as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's a nice little A split there from VP. Like I said, different to their approach yesterday. Against Hellraisers, they actually went for the 2 smokes and actually smoke connector and balcony and went up together a solid ETA side. This time they go for an A split, but like you said, they found out there's kills towards B and they actually decided to fall back and go back towards the B side. So that actually worked out very nicely, not dropping a single frag there. We're going to see a semi-force spike coming in from NaVi into this one. 2 players with the body armor, be Flamey and seized. But VP actually going for 5 rifles, 5 AKs in the second round. This is my favorite setup, Matt. It keeps things a little bit more interesting, I think. You keep it nice and long range, stick together, make sure you're trading frags effectively, and the SMGs don't have to go in this close range quarter combat. Only problem is you are lacking the utility, so that's why they're sticking together right now as little units, going to be as a 4-man towards long 8. And Taz still out first. Guardian trying to do what he can there with the AK-47, but it doesn't work out for him. Seized waiting on the side.
He's going to try and bait himself into this play as well. Let them get close. Everyone knows to check this, but he's hoping to catch them off. That's exactly what he does. Only for 1. Drops bomb temporarily. And it is simple 1 versus 4 with the Deagle to try and pull this back. No armor, no kit.
Bomb has been planted.
No vision towards Cbble. Should be pretty straightforward again this time around as he'll try and just do some economic damage against these AK-47s. If he can find 1 kill, excellent. If not, doesn't really make a difference, does it?
Yeah, it's obviously not really worth Virtus Pro going for a hunt here. It's 1 player remaining. He hasn't got a weapon of any value. Simple gives away his position now. Will be deciding to fall back. He hasn't got the armor to save, but the Deagle potentially could be worth something. He's actually going to be trying to find another exit here. Just trying to bait the footsteps off as he runs back towards connector there. I'm not sure what the grand plan is here. It'd be absolutely insane for a terrorist to run through connector trying to find that frag. Wouldn't make much sense at all. As they decide to exit all through towards long A. Saving 4 AKs. We did see C's pick up a kill with that CZ. It's pretty much as good as it's going to get. They didn't fully force into this round. There's a couple of players getting the body armor there. So Virtus Pro managed to keep 4 AKs alive. They'll be buying another one as well. And we go to round number 3. This should be the full eco round from NaVi. So a chance for VP now to get all the grenades out and have a nice full buy going forward. But I guess the only problem with this is if one of your players do go down or there's a close range sort of crossfire coming in from the CTs manage to pick up an AK, that's when it's a little bit more high risk. But so you just need to slow things right down, full default. And maybe VP don't even want to do that this round. They just want to go for a B rush.
Smokes out on the long platform of Molotov onto the stairs as well early on for Virtus Pro. It's Guardian that's up close as well for NaVi. He on the P2000. No upgrade, we know why. Undoubtedly, as Simple's gone for the armor to complement that Deagle. He's got to be careful to dance around the bottom of the stairwell, but that flash Snax gets in too close. It's going to be a pickup for Virtus Pro, make it doubly so as they walk into the site. And Bialy, he'll start getting entry frags as well. He'll go down at the end with a late play from Edward at Chicken Coop, but he's spotted out. Taz with the kill. 3-0 Virtus Pro, guns to be drawn, and Guardian, does he have enough considering he saved? Yep, absolutely. Immediately buys up the AWP on the bind and armor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the trademark Guardian maps. If you remember the previous NaVi lineup, like you mentioned, they normally only got about 5 rounds on the CT side of Cbble, but that was actually due to him just going absolutely insane. He's quite quiet on the T side traditionally. We'll see whether this new adjustment with with Simple coming into the lineup does change things up a little bit. He'll be going towards middle, waiting for that initial flashbang that does hit him though. Not going to be as aggressive for now. He's thinking about it, but VP, 3 players towards A. Going to be concentrating on middle this time. Maybe not towards long A. We'll see if this one folds out for them, but Guardian still present towards the mid area. Looking for that first pick. Fires off a shot. Can't land it just yet.
He gets a shot through the door as well as Taz was waiting on the other side.
God, he really wants this, doesn't he?
Yep. Not going to get it. That time will be enough. Third to charm. Fall back to the site. Meanwhile, Virtus Pro, they're not scared off by this in its entirety. They just didn't want to give anything up early. Still out toward the courtyard is Neo. The rest, on the other hand, though, are rotating back over toward B. Flamey and Simple up close to the platform.
This looks like it may be some sort of B play coming in here. They've got a couple of smokes remaining, so the execution potential not fully there. They'll probably use the smokes to cover off move towards connector or chicken coop. as they go towards the bomb site here. Simple hunting for that first frag. Guardian still towards the A side. John Bay Edward as well. So only 3 players towards B, and this is where VP will be ending up as well. Here come the smokes, and here comes the Molotov towards the steps as well. I mean, Simple has to move.
And he'll do exactly that. Back to standard, back to basic, the old hole in the wall. But the flames have extinguished. Is he spotted, though? I think Snacks may have just spotted him crossing back over into this position. He's staring him down. Flash comes through. It's Bialy instead to hit the shot, and in the entry from the drop, it's Taz and Bialy following that up as Taz's entrance covers off both prongs to the approach, and NaVi with just 2 remaining against 4, although 2 of them are low, have no real grounds to walk on inside of the site. Guardian as well, bought down to $150 after picking up the AWP.
Yeah.
And he and Edward are just going to like to save.
Yeah, no kits available. Just an incendiary flashbang in the hands of Edward here. So he's trying to do what he can on the exit kills. It does take down Pasha, but they do need to save his 2 weapons. They're going to have struggle by going to the next round, but still, Guardian saving the AWP. We know what a complete monster he is, and actually at the moment as well, his current form is impeccable. We saw those crazy highlight clips the other day on Overpass. So him just saving the AWP is more than enough chance to actually win the round in the next. So we'll see what that brings to the table. And we'll be 4-0 here in favor of VP. 1 player goes down to the bomb. There's a Taz. Just about didn't get far away. I think that's probably about 5 damage he took from that one, but there it is. And we'll be 4-0. And this should be quite a comfortable round for VP, but they need to be very careful of the Guardian Orb. Here's a couple of options here. Go towards long A, middle. He can be boosted up and towards drop down. The upper platform, it's just going to be whether VP give him an opportunity to take that first shot. We'll see what happens here, round number 5. Teammate's not going to be buying up around him. It's just going to be the upgraded pistols. And of course, Edward saving that M4 from the previous round. 3-man stack from the CT towards long A. They know that VP like to run that standard setup there towards long A by themselves and trying to work out the map control and pushing terrorists back. So we'll see whether this works out for them.
They're going to go all the way deep inside of their own territory, having, as you mentioned, all the players over toward the A site. B instead, just with the presence of Guardian at the statue. Everyone in tandem rotating toward that B site together, though NaVi, their positioning could still be decent in all of this, and Guardian's going to get more aggressive knowing he's got some backup toward drop. He's spotted out, but it's the shot. Bialy down. And the next one, can't quite land it on Neo, but knows he's trying to push to his right. He's got to play this perfectly. His teammates tries to bait him in. He's got to get the scope in, and he does it. Down goes Neo as he was trying desperately to figure out the angle. Unfortunately tagged up. It's the Pasha nade that will take him down, and Pasha and Taz will collect all the remaining kills, but Guardian makes it interesting at least.
He always makes it interesting, Matt, and that's another round to show you how deadly he can be on those sort of situations when he's just a player that saves the WP. He does make 2, and it could have been more as well. Luckily, VP able to take him down at the end. And I think when you know Guardian's got an AWP on the other side of the map, only losing 2 frags in that round, you'll probably be okay with that going forward. But here he is then, the new setup of NaVi, the new complexion is going to be Simple coming in that secondary AWP. We haven't seen it really come into fruition just yet. It hasn't impressed me amazingly, but we'll see what we can do as he goes towards the upper platform. Known for his aggressive style with the AWP, more flashier in many senses than Guardian in terms of the risks he's willing to take.
Yeah,
to find frags.
Well, in this double up, it's the first time we'll see it now on the CT side. Edward, nade. Spots 2, smartly going to get away from this, doesn't have positional control, and he may just bait them. If they were careless, obviously Virtus Pro knows better than that. They could have baited into Guardian, but he overcommits to the peak and therefore taking down from middle. It's going to be Edward to fall with only 1 kill, and again, Virtus Pro are just owning them on these entries.
Yeah, this is looking very good from VP. It's going to be another 4 versus 2 of Flamey. He's just burning alive in the platform area there. 5 HP somehow gets out with his life, just standing in the open with a full flash effect. And actually, he may have a chance of winning this round as well. Simple coming in with that secondary AWP. He's going to bring it down to the 2-on-2. Bialy and Snacks still haven't made their way to the bomb site.
Well, Bialy's positioning, though, is fairly... Okay, good. Simple's actually rotated correctly toward balcony where you can see still see the bomb, excuse me, because if he overcommits and had to walk that door, Bialy would have had him, but they know now he's dropped down, he's fully flashed up. And Bialy again going to hit the shot. Another 2 kills for him in the round. Bialy currently sits top the leaderboard with 8 kills, 6 rounds in. It's been fairly decent and distributed evenly across Virtus Pro, but it's the entries more than anything that's just obliterating NaVi.
Yeah, VP with their pretty classic mentality at the moment, just getting the mid control towards long A, and they're just dropping Simple smoke to start around. Is going in and that bulldozer effect, pushing out a long A, 3 people coming out at the same time. Unless you hit that first shot against them, you have an incredibly difficult time to actually hold them off. We did have Guardian towards that APC area as well. He's supposed to hold them off, but VP, 1 player towards middle, very good flashbang comes in, just finds that crossfire, takes him down. At that point, the round fell apart for NaVi. It will be another eco here, 6-0 for the Polish side. Still a lot of work to do here, of course. It's still anyone's game, I'd say. It's just a very good start from Virtus Pro. Pasha looking to continue it as Snacks chimes in as well. Double AWP set up on the T side, working very efficiently at the moment, just slowing things down, trying to get those first picks. And Flamey and Edward Actually waiting to receive and towards the B side, but the Molotov is able to get to the face.
Flamey's going to fall back slightly as well. Snax is trying to open this up with that AWP toward the chicken coop, but it's Bialy again that just sprays them down with the AK-47. Fairly straightforward in the anti-eco this time around, but another double op setup immediately coming in. 7-0 Virtus Pro. NaVi, we said it, they're known to typically get around 5 rounds, usually on the back of Guardian's solid play.
He's normally the one carrying them on the CT side. That's historically every event I can think about casting with the previous NaVi lineup. We always thought, oh god, 5's never enough. It's not going to be there. It's only Guardian that's really fragging. They move it to the T side, and that's when players like C's were going massive. And Zeus was actually very good on this map as well. Obviously not part of the lineup anymore, but that's where they really did deliver. But still, need to start posting some rounds to Guardian. Once again, aggressive towards mid, trying to find that first pick. And Simple has been smoked out of the upper platform. Seeing if he can find any sort of angle here. The spamming off through the smoke. Seeing if he can take down potentially that boost spot. But there we go. Guardian does get the first pick. Neo by himself towards middle. Does get taken down. Was having a little face over his knife, seeing if he could work anything out there. But Snax using his smoke now to see whether he can spot onto the bomb site. He knows Guardian likes to rotate his position. Oh! Could he actually see him then?
I don't think so.
He must be able to.
Well, yes, he can, because he's got the shot. I don't know about the first time. Smoke was just starting to fade off, but
I think he must have saw like a pixel, because the fact he just didn't move his crosshair at all in that area. Like normally you'll check it, right? And then you'll fall back. The fact he was just glued to it suggested he saw something moving in the smoke.
Either way, very impressive to know the angle from Snax, and Guardian gets taken down on what is normally a safe position to rotate back to. Simple, meanwhile, though, he's brought his AWP over to that site. He'll find the refrag at the bottom of middle, but they still have to account for Taz, who's come out from the drop. Good play from Simple. He knows another one's there. He's got the bomb down as well. It's Bialy that will fall, and it's just Pasha remaining as Virtus Pro this time finally, potentially, stopped in their tracks. Now, the one thing to keep in mind in all of this is that we're about to hit a reset for NaVi. So a double up purchase, exactly. Every member counts, and that was far too easy for Pasha. As he's walked with his back turned toward the drop room, Flamey will be there to trade it back, and that's going to be the round, at least going the way of NaVi.
Yeah, it's Simple stepping up this time. It was that first pick actually from Guardian towards middle. We saw Neo maybe getting a little bit overzealous there, but it's actually facing cleanly towards top of mid, seeing if we can get a bit of information there. Does find Guardian, who takes him down. And at that point, Virtus Pro coming towards the drop down area, and Simple goes absolutely wild. Something we've been waiting for. This double AWP setup has been recently announced. It's not like he came into the team with straight away with the secondary AWP. He had to fit into the Zeus role initially, but now they've had a little bit of time. Opposite work being Little to actually try and bring this in. It's perfect time to actually demonstrate what it's capable of here in Pro League as we go into round number 9 here. Once again, this is the classic VP setup. 3 towards long 8, push the CTs back, take the vision away, and start dissecting the map as they go towards danger.
A very good counter to Guardian, who likes to play in this position so frequently as well with that AWP.
Sure.
Bialy's forced back slightly on drop, at least for about 11 seconds with that smoke down. Guardian this time going to watch bottom mid. Remember last time they had this exact setup with Edward out toward long at Stables. Guardian overcommitted to peeking the corner, and no one was watching the bottom of middle. This is when he got taken down, so see if you can read the play or assess the situation a little bit better this time around. Bomb intentionally dropped back toward B tunnels. Neo gonna grab that. We still have a full split. 3-2. I expect drop. Rotate to A. And here we go. 46. Clear the drop. Bialy down. He'll hold off left side. Bomb hasn't dropped yet because they want to make sure he can stabilize that position, but now they are starting to push back Edward inside of the A site. He'll go to cannons. Vulnerable from the top of middle, but crossfire established when they do walk out. Long flash round. He's going to try and take advantage. Taz was waiting for it. He just stares down that position, and overcommitment on the refrag back in, and suddenly just like that, Virtus Pro, they've got control as Snax is going to take down Simple inside of the balcony position. Flamey, though, he'll find at least Bialy back, but a 1 versus 3, he's going to bail out already.
Perfect round there from VP, holding up very nicely, just bleeding the CTs out, making sure they had nothing left to work with there, looking for that first pick. They get towards long A once again, completely pushing the CTs back, and then they show their hand. They've actually got presence towards drop down as well. There's pinstring the A bomb side there. We're hoping Guardian can step up those scenarios as well, but he got taken out by Snax to open things up. Once again, he's having a pretty quiet game. I think he's only on, what, 2 frags now? 3? And he needs to be the player really delivering the frags on the CT half. They just can't find the shots against Snax at the moment. He seems to be impeccable at the moment, especially at DreamHack Open. Had a fantastic tournament. Obviously, the game yesterday, they had this great terrorist half. It was the, no, sorry, it was a great CT half, and then they sucked on the T side. So they're kind of addressing things today. They got 12 for CT.
Yes.
That was always surprising. And then
yeah, because it was
Snax
looking super confident.
Yeah. And then they moved over to the T side, and that's when they just couldn't actually hit a barn door, it seemed. But today, maybe it's in reverse. Who knows? Currently on the T side, they're looking very, very good indeed. 8-1, and they have fully reset NaVi. They managed to save... Oh, were they forcing into this? Guardian's got a UMP, so he had 2,200 left over, so he had a little bit more money than everyone else. So he's going to try and see what he can do with the favoured SMG of CSGO at the moment. Flamey saving an AK-47. He'll be towards B, joined by 2 teammates, which will be Season Simple.
Yeah, what can Guardian really hope to achieve from that position?
It's if he gets 1 kill, picks up an AK, potentially catches him off guard. He's got no armor, no nades, just a UMP. It's ambitious.
Well, Snacks, meanwhile, AWP, bottom and middle. We saw what he was capable of last time he brought a sniper rifle into this position. He's still just probing out. Lovely shot, though, from Edward.
What an angle.
Just a pixel to fire at, really. There's not much there. There's what it looks like through the scope of a sniper rifle. Oh, I dare say he's overextended there to go back for more. And Snacks staring him down is going to take that back. Get the bomb recovered for Virtus Pro, just like that as well. Bialy drops down. Once again, he'll establish control of that point of the map, taking down Simple.
That's such a horrible angle. He does do reasonable damage at the Snacks. He goes under 36, but the UMP not really designed for that sort of range, especially against armor players as well. Guardian has to fall back at this stage. And Neo finds a frag towards the B side. That's actually going to be Flamey with that AK-47, so that's round over at this point, I'm afraid. Guardian, if you can find 1 kill with this UMP, that would give it an extra $600. That would probably be very beneficial for him at this point. Doesn't happen. It will be 9-1, and the money's not great for NaVi. This could be the point of no return. If they lose this round, they get themselves in such a deep rut. They have got an orb dropped, but the rest of the players will be struggling. I think it'll be a mixture of Famuses and M4s with no utility. So you can see they get the guns, sure, but Matt on the CT side of Cbble, we all know in the incendiaries, the smoke grenades, you need those to hold the terrorists off, and they're executing. They've got 1 smoke to play with, nothing else.
Yeah.
No kits, Edward, just a Famus, no armor. If they win this round, I'll be very impressed. Simple has got the AWP though, that's the difference maker. Surprised he got head armor against the AKs, but
wow,
could he got an extra smoke there.
Simple's going to try and catch them off this time from out toward the chicken coop. Flamey, quick peek, catches one with a nade out, so Snacks, he'll temporarily drop the bomb, but that's quickly recovered from Pasha's position immediately next door. They're going to switch over to the EWP as well and try and find an opening with it, but Simple has now come back into the fold. So they get the first kill with the M4. Simple suddenly rotates, swaps with his teammate, and he's going to try and catch them off guard if they try and go for a refrag toward the stairwell. Smartly, though, Virtus Pro is going to slow this down with a minute still to work with, and look at Neo. Is this Cloud9 all over again? Is he going to slip? Oh, he's been spotted. Guardian sees him, but he still wins the duel. 12 HP. Problem is now, where does he go? And just barely, timing is everything, gets around the corner to hold off rotations. They've rotated all the way back over as well on that side. Virtus Pro on the attack, and Edward, he's going to have a bit of problem here spotting up the first, because as soon as he does, Taz wraps back round, catches him off from the left, and it's just onto C's balcony. He's down. Simple. Not yet part of the equation. He's going to swap away from the AWP and go on to an M4. 2 low players. There's a chance he can pull something off in this.
If ever was a man to come into this situation, he would probably be the one you wanted it to be. But in this instance, he can't actually make it happen. Pasha takes him down. Massive round there for NaVi after getting that first pick. Flamey almost gifted it. Finds a player with a grenade in his hand on the upper platform. That should have been the catalyst to get them into this half. But unfortunately for them, it's VP, especially Neo as well, getting himself into that connector area. Edward a little bit too passive towards the A site. It's Guardian that goes down first. Does do reasonable damage. I think that kill, had they catch him on the retreat there, they could have had a real chance of getting back into that site. But 10-1. And the lost stage bonus match, it's only a 3rd stage, so they're going to have, what, $2,400 coming into this round, and there's a couple of players with some residual cash. They have to take an eco here, but the problem is they're getting so deep into this half, it could be actually a little bit too late. If they go 11-1 down, it means there's a lot of pressure to actually get those last 3. You need, I'd say on the CT half, you need at least 4 to give yourself a fighting chance. But apparently not sometimes.
Yeah, apparently
yesterday,
12-3 is a curse.
Hellraisers managed to pull back from worse, so, you know.
It's true, they certainly did. And they did it in appalling fashion on both the fact that they did well and Virtus Pro did absolutely god-awful.
I'm going to call this another 12-3. And VP will get, like, flashbacks from yesterday. Maybe won't be able to close it out.
Yeah, I don't know if I can sit through another one of those, Henry. I'm not going to lie.
Even when they won the pistol as well, that was insane. That was such a nuts outcome.
Well, yeah. It really was. It speaks volumes about Virtus Pro's inconsistency, both online and after a LAN. Coming off a DreamHack Bucharest with a win.
Well, they looked amazing. Like, everyone was stepping up for them. Like, not a single player on that team had a bad event that weekend. But came back to an online game. Looked amazing to start with. CT half looked flawless, and they just couldn't get anything rolling at all on the terrorists. But it seems they've managed to rectify those issues. NaVi now in the tactical pause, trying to work out what the next move is. I guess at this stage, it's just trying to take the foot off the pedal a little bit and just work out what's the next move. They're not going to buy into this round. You can see Guardians bought a PT50. So this will just be a conservative round where trying to do some damage. They can save an AK or get the orb off Snacks. That'd be amazing. VP, on the other hand, have actually got lots of money here. Winning this round, they have enough for the rest of the game. But NaVi now just discussing what's the next move. And with 4th stage loss bonus next round, they should be absolutely fine in terms of cash. So just buy some PT50s this round, maybe an HE grenade each, and do that airstrike sort of play towards B. That could be something interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering exactly what Simple can do to try and get more effective with that AWP. Guardian can't be on both sides of the map, but I think Guardian's better off on the A site. We're seeing him go to B a little bit as the primary. You often talk about just being dynamic and switching that up.
Well, Guardian's been trying to go aggressive towards middle as well. At the beginning of the half, he just wasn't getting anything out of him. He saw him trying to pick that little angle. And normally he goes a bit more aggressive than that. He'll drop the smoke in middle and actually go for the full face. This time he's just using the left-hand side gap. He hasn't really had too much impact at all this first half. He's done 3 for 10, and that was in the round they won. He managed to get that opening frag, but since then he's been very quiet indeed. Certainly not the godlike levels we know he's capable of. So the unpause comes in. It will be 4 USPs here at the moment, just 1 PT50 in the hands of Guardian. Oh, there's a few more. So 3 PT50s, make it 4. Simple. Obviously, one of the snipers here will be saving his money for the next. Round number 12 comes in. So VP will be aware of the situation. They won't give too much away. Let's be holding back at the start of the round and seeing what kind of aggression is presented towards them. As we have got Edward, Guardian, and C's towards the A side of the map. C's behind the mid doors here. It's very rare this actually works out for anyone. Let's see whether he can do anything with it.
And one and done, potentially at best. And fires early with the flash coming through. He tries to catch them with crosshair placement. That just serves to give his position away more than anything. Is Guardian's going to push behind them, though? I know. Oh, he goes for the first one now. There's one to his right. Trigger discipline might have paid off, might have prevailed, but he gets back through a smoke that was there to guise him. The smoke they threw to cover off danger actually comes back to haunt them as it leaves Guardian alive. But now it's still Guardian on 21 in a 3 versus 3. Flamey rotates over. Damage done from those P250s again. In fact, a nice shot from Guardian will take down Snacks. It's a 2 versus 2, and exactly that. He has an AWP to work with. The last gun you would want him to have. So thankfully, the airstrike from Pasha will not allow him to get a shot with it.
They actually left that towards mid. I always watch that secret smoke go down, right, towards danger. And you always think, well, there seems to be a CD that always pushes through that one and gets him in the back every single time I've ever seen that happen. And it happens once more. No one's watching it, and they do win the round overall. Like I said, VP not really strapped the cash to them. They're absolutely fine for the rest of the game. But still, it's something you obviously need to be very cautious of.
And the role changes right now from NaVi. Clearly struggling as they can't even get to their 5 rounds on CT side. Guardian tries to go aggressive again, gets caught off. They bust out the door because there's one up close he doesn't see. He's going to get away. No way. No way, Guardian. How does he always do this? And he doesn't actually. Okay, he does get the 3rd. And Edward slips in between them. It confuses me for a second, but finally, there we go. That's exactly it. They win rounds on Guardian's brilliance alone.
Yeah, well, very close range combat situation there. You would have thought VP. Okay, let's have a look at this. So you've got players there. One's blind, sure, but as far as Neo, he's got his knife out, so he has to draw the weapon. That's the problem. He should be coming around with the AK in his hand and blowing off Guardian's head before he even has a chance to fire the second shot. He had his knife out, trying to curve jump around the corner, and obviously that's to his detriment. I guess he was flashing. He's probably trying to run a little bit faster out of harm's way, but had he just run out with the gun, probably would have had a simple kill there. And it's Taz this time, aggressive towards the upper platform. 2 headshots coming in for the full spray, looking for the 3rd as well. C's can't find it. This should be a round going in favor of VP. 4 on 2. Still Edward on site, though, doing some decent work for NaVi.
And he's got the flash out toward long as well. Going to try and put himself in a better position as the Molotov. Follows it all the way to make sure he doesn't step on it. That's going to cover off in front of the rock. Guardian late over toward A is going to find the lurk. Now that's big because now Snacks can't deter the rotation, and Edward doesn't have to worry as much about it, but he's not 100% convinced of that just yet.
Yeah, it's going to be towards B. The bomb is towards that other platform at the moment. Flashes come in. Bialy stuck towards the fountain, trying to make something happen out of this as Neo edges in with the bomb. Spots Edward towards drop down. Has the Molotov out of position for now. That's actually a pretty decent Molotov, and he spots he has fallen back.
Neo trying to get across with bomb. He'll throw a flash for himself to do so, but it blinds up both, and Guardian can't quite connect on the shot. Still has the cross covered off as additional Utility will be thrown out toward the CT's. Bialy's in the best position possible at the cubby, but they know he's there. Edwards found it. Guardian's going to get out of the hands of Neo. It's a 1-1 trade, and it's down to the 1 versus 1 in the round. 48 health for Edward to work with in 31 seconds to accomplish this for Virtus Pro to reset NaVi again going into round 15, or for Edward to finally get something rolling for NaVi. 3 rounds isn't far away from what they normally achieve, considering how poor this has been.
20 seconds remaining, and Neo knows if he tries to plant the bomb there, Edward will strike. He's waiting for that smoke to dissipate first, I guess. Oh, there it is. This is the chance now to finish things off. He's going to try and get the bomb down, and Edward surely going to pounce.
You'd think he would, but he's a little bit slow to do so. That leaves him open to the AWP, but the jump from Neo doesn't quite spot him now. He will no-scope, tries to hold him off. Flash as well, going to repeat this immediately in a no-scope again because he's gone a lot closer. Edward not anticipating the side correctly, but still, he'll respond as Neo can't land the shot with the AWP, and finally NaVi will get back-to-back rounds.
Obviously didn't have the information that he was low HP there, doesn't get the call from his teammates, so I guess it was from his HG grenade that actually did most of the damage, so why would he know? And it doesn't manage to pull off the no-scope there. Very well played to get the bomb down. I thought Edward was going to capitalize it. This was the opening of the round as well. The fast B play from Taz with a decent spawn, runs in there, nails the first 2 shots. You thought that was game, set, and match there, but NaVi still fighting these rounds due to individual performances and those clutch situations. It will be this time NaVi with 3 rounds, and there's still money, of course, for Virtus Pro as we go into round number 15. They're going to have the single orb set up. Guardian back on the orb himself. Money not as bad as I thought it was, considering the last round was a 1v1. Managing to get kits, nades. And hopefully, the 4th round, so we have a real game on our hands here.
Guardian out toward Long again this time round. Simple's going to slowly push as we see it on the minimap toward the Long position at B. Flamey's going to play off of him and also try and cover drop. That'll give them the early rotation if he can successfully do so to Seized. He's playing the swing on this map, but here we go. Guardian out toward Long. No utility yet to push him back, but he's still going passive. Edward, surprisingly, with a single flash down toward mid, is going to push onto this. Doesn't make it work, but Seized wants to resume this position and catch off Virtus Pro potentially. But Virtus Pro, after finding their first pick and thinning out the defense, forcing rotations, are smartly going to go back toward the B side, at least for now. 57 seconds they still have to work with and figure out exactly what the remaining 4 CTs are doing.
Well, Seized doesn't spot the player lurking towards mid. Neo coming out here. The timing is going to be everything. They're just actually negating each other by actually hiding at the same time. But it's going to be Simple going down here. Surely he's going to get a no-scope. Can't actually manage to pull the trigger as Taz does take him down. 5 versus 3 now. And Neo lurks to perfection there. Taking down Seized as he's coming in for the flank behind them. 5 on 2. Flamey, you need to find at least 1 kill here to actually give Guardian any sort of possibility coming to the site. It's not going to happen. It's the last round. Guardian has to try and make this happen as he goes coming towards drop down. Surely dead now. Apparently not. Does nail the close range shot towards Taz.
Guardian 1 versus 3.
Ooh.
Henry, if he doesn't pull it off, the score is 12-3 for Virtus Pro again.
So we still have a game on our hands.
Yes, we will. As is tradition in Pro League online matches, 12-3, we've seen it, what, 5 times this year, 6 times this year, maybe more. Yeah. And about 5 of them have been comebacks that have been successfully completed by the team that goes down early. So this could still be a problem for Virtus Pro.
Yep, this is the same scoreline they had against Hellraisers. 12-3 in the first half, lose the pistol, then round by round, they get back into it. So this is certainly not over yet, Matt. Historically speaking, in Pro League, every single team gets back from 12-3. So, what do you reckon? Do you think they'll do it?
If they win the pistol again tonight and lose twice like that on this map, I don't know what to expect, but we'll find out if that is even a possibility when we return after the short break. just saw a cool tweet someone sent out. Actually, it was ESL Counter-Strike sent it out, but that's someone that controls it, so it still counts. There's a nice big electronic billboard at Times Square right now advertising ESL 1, and you can get your tickets at ESL-1.com.
How am I do that?
You don't need one, Henry. You're going to be there with me. And when you're with me, you get anywhere.
Perfect.
That's how
Well,
it works.
will Virtus Pro get anywhere here on map 1?
We will see. You would think 2 nights, lightning can't strike twice, but then again, the op does sound like thunder, so maybe it will as 12-3 the scoreline again at half. Last night it was the same thing, and they managed to lose to Hellraisers.
Yeah, that was...
Pretty depressing, if I'm completely
The
honest.
thing is as well, that was on their CT half as well. This time they've done it on the T half, they've got that massive lead. Surely they can bring home the bacon now and actually finish this one off.
bacon.
You do.
I love bacon.
Bit of maple syrup on it.
So the guy at the hairdresser today, by the way, when he gave me this new product that he put in my hair, which he used more than I ever would, said it was maple syrup based, and I said, you know what, I'm all right with it. Keep going.
Keep just
Lather me
applying
up,
it
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Make me smell real good.
Okay then, well, I think we all know by now that this is a must-win pistol round for NaVi. If they lose it and potentially go 3-0, that's pretty much game over. It will be match point for Virtus Pro. So, what's the buy? What's the approach here? They've gone for 3 sets of armor. Guardian on the smoke and flashbang. But Snacks, he's taking it away from him. He's gone for the double headshot towards Long. Aggressive, of course. Takes him down. And it's going to be the 4 versus 3. What's the reaction here? Taz, he's still towards Long A. I'm not sure they'll be ready for it. We'll see.
He's going to try to make that work. We almost saw Simple going that way. He's faked that he's gone back, and he's going to repeat that. Baits out Taz. So smart from Simple as suddenly Pasha, though, pulls it all back the other way. As Pasha's gotten seized down, and as soon as I cast one thing, Henry, the other thing happens. We're back to a 2 versus 2, though. Flamey getting that kill is going to converge with his teammate in Simple and take the bomb toward the B site, which is held by one man inside of Mo's house. It's Bialy, who has to wait a long time for Nia to rotate all the way back through the B tunnels as he's gone for the flank rotation. And this is going to be interesting because Simple's already read this as well. So he thinks he's going to be clever. He thinks he's going to walk in easily. Simple timing. He sees him, but Neo's with the better shot. Now it's a pinch play. Flamey caught in the middle. And Mo's home, baby. Bialy pops out and Flamey goes down.
Is that you just trying to make it a thing with Mo's home?
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
okay.
I can't say the other one.
I was just wondering whether you heard it somewhere else and you were trying to bring it into the game.
No,
or...
that's me.
Okay.
The Jaden round, Mo's house.
Because I'm never going to say Mo's house.
That's fine.
But I like that
I've heard
do.
you call it the other thing, though.
But chicken.
Well, KFC honestly suits you.
Why?
Because you like KFC. You went in Romania late night once.
Oh, yeah? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's not healthy to have KFC that late.
Okay, then. 4 Glocks, and it's not going to be the force buy for NaVi, interesting enough. They'll be going for that kind of approach map. They'll probably bring out the Galils, the AKs next round, maybe some upgraded Deagles. We'll see. It's a full eco, which is quite rare after not planting the bomb on the pistol. It's almost the go-to approach, right? But VP almost guaranteed. And 14 here. Oh, Snacks does a nice chunk of damage there to Edward. Doesn't find the kill, but they're going to try and find something in return here. But Taz, he's ready. Sprays down with the UMP at this point. Not really much hope for NaVi. So he's trying to sneak in towards the connector there, but it's going to be Taz to finish things off. Runs out of bullets. Shotgun surely should be able to make light work of these final 2 players.
Shotgun, trying, jumping, going low. Simple's pulled it back, but Neo's there. Mo's house has 2 meanings as well, because if you were going to eat a kebab, you'd need some chicken.
Mo's house?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, as predicted, Matthew, it is going to be the AKs. The Galil. 3 sets of head armor. It's not the worst buy, all things considered. With no plant down, it is a nice little thing to bring out there. It's not really orthodox or part of the meta right now, but it certainly is can be your key back into the game if they win this one. They start breaking the economy of VP, considering they have a P90, a Max 7, and an MP9. Let's see where they can actually finish this one off and get to match points. Just Snacks towards A at the moment. He's got the Max 7.
Well, Max 7 Snacks seems to go hand in hand on this map. Unfortunately, it won't go hand in face as Flamey punches back with an AK-47 instead. Edward tagged down to 55, having gotten that kill.
5 versus 4. NaVi, problem is with this setup, they actually have they've got 2 smokes remaining now, actually. I think they actually picked one up towards Long after getting that first kill. So that certainly actually helps things out tremendously, believe it or not. gives them a little bit more room to breathe in the post-plant situations if it comes to that as well. Right now, they're trying to use their classic NaVi mentality. This is their bread and butter, getting that first pick, waiting for CD reactions to come in and just going in together. And Pasha, he's actually going to be on the upper platform. They're trying to get flashed in with that P90 in hand. One smoke remaining for him. So if he can drop that right about now, that would be absolutely perfect. It's going to be an incendiary, which is one step better with that, potentially. So you can prot that incendiary and then lock them in once again with the smoke grenade. Bit of damage with the nade. Smoke comes in.
Yep. P90, dead.
Oh.
Gone. Forget it. Neo, MP9. Can't sit just with just that single machine. Instead, though, it's Bialy, who's got a much better machine. A contraption known as the M4A1S. It's silenced, but it's deadly.
Wow.
Similar to the gas that I have in the morning, as Edward's going to wrap back around the statue. He's low on HP, but he's got bomb. He's got a headshot on Taz, down to a one-on-one. It's now positional. It's all about the game, and he's got the plant in time, too, at 4 seconds, but that does give Bialy the advancement. He's on to 74. One bullet from him, and the low HP on Edward would be enough, and he can't find the headshot. As such, Bialy will win the duel, and Virtus Pro's got map point early, Henry.
They have indeed. They have at least guaranteed themselves overtime, which is...
Chat's
and
happy.
the analyst desk has lit up with excitement.
Well,
So-
it means they can actually talk about something that should have happened rather than something that shouldn't have.
Obviously, yeah. If you get 12 free and you win the pistol, you should be winning the game. That's insane that you don't close it out. But NaVi did get the bomb down. They're a third stage loss bonus. There's still some money there. Not much, but some. They're going to have an AK-47, 2 Galils, a Tech-9, and a Desert Eagle. They've got some grenades as well. Obviously, it's last chance to win at this point. It has to win every single round. It's going to be the next 12 required to actually stay alive here. You think at this point, it's pretty certainly going to be GG, but they'll do everything they can. You never give in. It's never over till it's over and all that.
Guardian. What can they possibly do, Henry? What can they do?
You try and work the map control at the start of the round, smoke off the key choke points, work together, and land the headshots. I would be trying to just keep things simple at this point.
Well, simple enough for Taz. He gets a headshot one way.
That's simple.
That is...
See?
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
I like, he made that one real hard for you. Bialy saves his teammate. I love when you get a third-person perspective of that almost, but it is going to be Virtus Pro closing the map. Convincing fashion as well, and that's potentially how fast last night's game should have been. At least they can get that skeleton out of the closet early enough.
Yeah, we've always said that NaVi struggled in their CT half, but we needed those electrifying performances from Guardian. He had a couple of them, but it wasn't only enough to get them 3 rounds after losing the pistol. Normally they pick up the pistol and they get about 5. 5's workable, right? So even if you lose the pistol, you still have the gun rounds to play with there, and that's when NaVi really do come to life on that T side. Didn't even get to demonstrate it today. Get 12-3 in the first half, they swap over, lose the pistol, and another 2v2, very close round, and then at that point they're forced into situations that are obviously very unfavorable. Can't finish it off, and it will be quite a convincing scoreline. 16-3, why not, after losing to Hellraisers yesterday.
And I was very much hoping that these two teams would provide us with an excellent game. Not to be in the first map. We'll see if it could be on the second, but let's hand it back over to Machine, Sponge, and Yanko.
Leans in on the desk and just leans in and goes, nice prediction, Chad. Just before we go live. 16-3. Of course, Australian here on the desk did predict NaVi to be taking that one. I mean, you can't really predict something like that. So convincing just yesterday.
I just did.
Okay, you're a mastermind.
Do you want to start doing scorelines now? Do we want to make it like that?
Do you want to play
Is that
that
how we
game?
want to
No,
play it?
I'm just bantering.
But, I mean, okay, 16-3. The team just beat NaVi 16-3 on Cobblestone after losing to Hellraisers yesterday. Welcome to CS. Can you put that into perspective for me? How does that come about?
Well, you want to go?
I'm looking at you, Chad.
Me?
Looking at you, babe.
Well, I didn't predict it. But anyway, as I said in the pre-show, I think, you know, they didn't look very good. NaVi didn't look very good on their CT side. It looked very disjointed. It looked like they hadn't worked out their spots properly yet. And that reflected here. They started the CT side. Obviously not the preferred side, but still, you're looking for 9-6, 8-7 halves kind of thing. You're not looking to get blown out of the water like that. And the 2 rounds that they won were, well, sorry, they won 3 rounds, but 2 of the 3 rounds they won were multi-kills by Simple and Guardian with the AWP. One where Simple was in connector, he got like 3 kills, and one in mid with Guardian, and he got 3 kills. And that's really all they had going. They had like, I think it was maybe, what I call a proper gun round or a full buy is like full utility, defuse kits and guns all around.
Yeah.
They only had, I think, 3 of those the whole half. So they couldn't get their money system up and about.
Agonizing, and VP just seemed to be walking into some of these sites. It was very much a open and shut case. 12-3 on T side after not being able to get what was essentially, what did they need? 2 rounds on their previous T side just yesterday, Yanko.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that VP is just that playing to the level of their opponents really does apply to them in a sense that they're clearly more focused in their executes, because it's not like they did anything special. You know, when you look at their executes and say, oh, this is very cool, brand new stuff from VP, saving it for this game against NaVi or whatever. No, it's been business as usual for them looking at the T side, but that's the difference, right? The calls are the same, but the execution is much more crisp. You can see that the players are more focused. Yes, they've been getting some good entry kills as well, but all around, I think it's a good point Chad made, that NaVi still looks a bit disjointed, right? They give too much control to VP. The Guardian tries early on with some aggressive peaks towards mid, but once he has to fall back at some point, and by that point, they just don't do anything. They have that setup, which they tried 2 times. Edward is close to the stables. He's around the APC, and VP broke that through that setup both times pretty easily.
Yeah, and it did just look like a kind of a lost NaVi, especially on the defensive side, just reiterating your points. And it does bode the question, what's Train going to look like? I mean, we have to talk about that after the break, but after a 16-3 convincing with a VP, it still does seem like a bit of an up-in-the-air answer. You know, you can't just sit there and go, well, VP are going to go hit the ground running and continue to find success on Train. We'll be answering all your questions in just a moment after our break. Before we do take that, though, let's quickly remind you about an application that does make this all possible. It's called the Score Esports application. It enables us to give you statistics, news, articles, and all of the good stuff to keep you up to date with your favorite game. So you go grab that on your smartphone, available on iOS and Google Play. And when we get back, we'll be talking Train between NaVi and VP. Stay tuned.